Listen to me right now, right here. I need you to hear this. You are valuable, not because of what you do, not because of what you have, not because of what the world says about you, but because of who you are, because of what's inside you, because of what God put in you before you even knew your own name. See, the problem is, too many of us go through life looking for somebody else to tell us our worth. We wait for approval, for validation, for somebody to say, you matter. But let me tell you something. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need a certificate to have purpose. You were born with value. Stop chasing things that were never meant to define you. Money, fame, status, they come and go. You know what doesn't? Character, integrity, faith, the way you treat people. That's value. That's legacy. And listen, I know life gets hard. I know people will doubt you, criticize you, tell you you're not enough. But they don't get to write your story. You do. Every single day you wake up with a chance to walk in your purpose, to stand in your truth, to live in your gift. So don't you dare shrink to make someone else comfortable. Don't you dare dim your light because somebody else can't handle the brightness. You were made to shine. Too often, we measure our worth by the things we can count. The size of our bank account, the number of followers we have, the job title on our business card. But let me tell you something. Your value is not in what you own. It's not in what you achieve. It's not in the labels the world puts on you. Your value is in you. It was placed inside you the moment you were born, long before you had a career, before you had money, before you had success. Your worth was already established. And nothing can take that away. But here's the problem. The world will try to convince you otherwise. Society will tell you that your value depends on how much you produce, how much you accomplish, how much you impress others. And so you work harder, you push yourself beyond your limits, you chase after things that were never meant to define you, all in an effort to prove your worth. But let me ask you, who are you proving it to? Because if you have to prove your worth, then you don't believe in it yourself. You have to know you're valuable even when no one is clapping for you, even when no one is watching, even when the world refuses to acknowledge it. And I know what some of you are thinking. Well, if I'm so valuable, why don't people treat me like it? Listen to me. You teach people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. If you walk around doubting your own worth, second-guessing yourself, apologizing for taking up space, what do you think others are going to do? They're going to treat you the same way you treat yourself. You want people to respect you, respect yourself. You want people to see your value, see it in yourself first. Because when you know your worth, you don't tolerate disrespect. You don't settle for less than you deserve. You don't let anybody tell you who you should be. But knowing your value doesn't mean arrogance. It doesn't mean walking around thinking you're better than everybody else. No, real confidence, real self-worth is quiet. It's secure. It's not about proving anything to anybody. It's about knowing deep down that you matter, that you bring something to the table even when others don't recognize it. You see, some of the greatest people in history were overlooked, underestimated, counted out, but their value didn't change just because people failed to see it. Your worth is not up for debate. It's not something that can be voted on or decided by the opinions of others. It just is. And the moment you truly understand that, everything changes. You stop chasing approval. You stop needing validation. You stop looking for someone else to tell you you're good enough. Instead, you own who you are. You walk with confidence, not because the world tells you to, but because you know you were created for a purpose. And let me tell you, when you stand in that truth, when you carry yourself with that kind of certainty, people will take notice. They may not like it. They may try to tear you down, but they will respect it, because the world respects people who respect themselves. But here's the truth. Some people won't see your value no matter what you do. No matter how hard you work, no matter how much you accomplish, no matter how much you prove yourself, some people will never acknowledge your worth. And you know what? That's okay, because their blindness to your value doesn't mean it's not there. Some people are just not meant to recognize your greatness. Some people are too distracted, too small-minded, too insecure to see what you bring to the table. But that doesn't mean you shrink. That doesn't mean you dim your light. That means you shine even brighter. That means you stop wasting energy trying to convince the wrong people of your worth and start focusing on those who already see it. So, I'll say it again. You are valuable, not because of what you do, not because of what you have, but because of who you are. And the day you stop looking outside yourself for that validation is the day you truly become unstoppable. One of the biggest traps in life, the thing that keeps so many people stuck, frustrated, and exhausted, is the need for validation. The need for someone else to tell you that you're good enough, that you belong, that you're worthy. But let me ask you something. Why do you need their approval? Why do you need someone else to confirm what you should already know? Because the truth is, if you spend your life waiting for others to validate you, you will never be free, you will never be at peace. Because no matter how much praise you get, no matter how many compliments you receive, it will never be enough if you don't believe in yourself first. See, the problem is, too many of us have been conditioned to seek validation from the outside. From an early age, we're taught to chase gold stars, trophies, good grades, promotions, all signs that we're doing something right. And there's nothing wrong with achievement. There's nothing wrong with striving for excellence. But when your sense of worth is tied to what other people think, you become a prisoner to their opinions. You're up when they approve of you, and you're down when they don't. You feel good when they praise you, and you feel lost when they criticize you. And that is no way to live. You have to understand there will always be people who don't see your value. Always. Some people will overlook you. Some people will underestimate you. Some people will ignore your talent, your effort, your greatness. And if you're looking to them for validation, you will always feel like you're not enough. But listen, just because they don't see your worth doesn't mean it's not there. Their blindness does not define you. Their ignorance does not determine your future. If someone can't recognize your value, that is their limitation, not yours. And let's talk about social media for a second. Too many of us are out here living for likes, for shares, for comments, for validation from people who don't even know us. You post something, and if it doesn't get enough engagement, suddenly you feel like you're not important, like you don't matter, like you're invisible. But let me tell you something. Real value isn't measured in likes. Real value isn't determined by algorithms. Real value is in the impact you have, the way you show up in the world, the lives you touch, whether anybody acknowledges it or not. You have to stop giving people so much power over you. Stop waiting for permission to feel good about yourself. Stop allowing other people's opinions to dictate how you see yourself. Because the moment you do that, you give away your power. You allow strangers, critics, doubters, and even haters to control your self-esteem. And why would you ever do that? Why would you let people who don't even know your story determine your worth? That doesn't make sense. You have to take your power back. You have to decide for yourself that you are enough. And I know it's not easy. I know the desire for validation runs deep. We all want to feel seen. We all want to feel appreciated. That's human nature. But at some point, you have to ask yourself, am I living for them or am I living for me? Because if you are constantly molding yourself to fit someone else's expectations, if you are constantly changing who you are just to be accepted, then you are not really living. You are performing. You are acting. And that is exhausting. You deserve to be free. You deserve to be yourself, fully, unapologetically, without fear of judgment. So today, make a decision. Decide that you will not live for approval. Decide that you will not shrink yourself just to fit into someone else's box. Decide that you will no longer look outside yourself for validation, because everything you need, the confidence, the assurance, the power, it's already in you. You just have to believe it. Too many people spend their entire lives chasing things that were never meant to define them. Money, titles, status, recognition. They believe that if they just get enough success, enough wealth, enough respect from others, then they will finally feel valuable. Then they will finally matter. But let me tell you something. No amount of money can make you more you. No title, no car, no house, no bank account can add to the essence of who you already are. Because who you are is not something that can be bought. It's not something that can be earned. It's something that was given to you from the start. Now, don't get me wrong. Money is important. Status can open doors. Success is a beautiful thing when it's built on purpose. But the moment you start believing that your worth is dependent on those things, you set yourself up for disappointment. Because what happens when the money runs out? What happens when the title is taken away? What happens when the applause stops? If your identity is built on things that can disappear, then who are you without them? See, true value, real value, is not found in what you have. It's found in what you give, the impact you make, the love you share, the integrity you carry. The world will try to convince you that you are only as good as your last achievement, that your value is tied to your productivity, that your success is measured by how much wealth you accumulate. But let me ask you something. How many wealthy people do you know who are miserable? How many famous people do you see struggling with depression, addiction, emptiness? That's because external success can never fill an internal void. If you don't know who you are without the money, without the title, without the status, then you don't really know who you are at all. Some of the greatest people in history had nothing to their name. They weren't rich. They weren't famous. They didn't have millions of followers, but they changed the world not because of what they owned, but because of what they stood for, because of what they believed in, because of how they lived. And you have to ask yourself, what legacy am I building? Am I chasing things that will fade, or am I building something that will last? Because let me tell you, when you are gone, people will not remember how much money you had. They will not remember what car you drove, what designer clothes you wore, how many awards sat on your shelf. They will remember how you made them feel. They will remember the kindness you showed, the wisdom you shared, the love you gave. And listen, I know the world can be tough. I know that in this society, people judge you by what you have before they even take the time to see who you are. But you cannot let that shake you. You cannot let the world's shallow definitions of success make you forget your deeper purpose. You have to know, deep down, that your value is unshakable. That no paycheck, no job title, no material possession can ever increase or decrease your worth. Because your worth is set. It was decided long before society tried to define you. So stop tying your identity to things that won't last. Stop measuring yourself by standards that don't reflect who you truly are. You are not your salary. You are not your resume. You are not the numbers in your bank account. You are more than that. You are your heart, your soul, your principles, your purpose. And when you understand that, when you truly believe that, you become free. Free from comparison, free from insecurity, free from the constant, exhausting need to prove yourself because you finally realized you never had to. So the question is, are you living to impress people, or are you living to make an impact? Because only one of those things will truly fulfill you. Life will test you. That's a guarantee. You will face obstacles that feel impossible to overcome. You will have moments where you doubt yourself, where you wonder if you're strong enough, smart enough, good enough to make it through. But let me tell you something. You are enough. You have everything you need inside of you to conquer whatever life throws your way. The problem isn't whether you can do it. The problem is whether you believe you can. Because confidence isn't just about walking into a room with your head held high. Confidence is about knowing deep in your soul that no matter what happens, you will figure it out. Too many people let fear control them. They let challenges intimidate them into playing small, into staying in their comfort zone, into never taking risks. But hear me when I say this. Fear is a liar. Fear will tell you that you're not ready, that you're not capable, that you don't have what it takes. But fear doesn't know your heart. Fear doesn't know your resilience. Fear doesn't know the strength that's been built inside you through every struggle, every setback, every disappointment. See, confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's moving through fear. It's standing up even when your knees are shaking. It's taking action even when doubt is whispering in your ear. And let's be real, challenges are not optional. They're a part of life. They will come whether you like it or not. But the difference between people who succeed and people who don't isn't the absence of struggle, it's how they respond to struggle. Some people let adversity break them, and some people use it to build themselves stronger. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to prove to yourself what you're made of. So the next time life knocks you down, don't sit there and feel sorry for yourself. Get up. Get up with more wisdom, with more determination, with more fight than you had before. See, pressure makes diamonds. Fire refines gold. You don't become great by avoiding challenges, you become great by facing them, by standing in the storm and refusing to back down. And I know sometimes it feels like life is throwing too much at you, like you're carrying more than you can handle. But trust me, every struggle is shaping you. Every setback is teaching you something. You may not see it now, but one day you'll look back and realize that the things you thought would break you were actually building you. That's why you have to keep pushing. That's why you have to believe that everything you're going through is preparing you for what's coming next. But confidence isn't just about pushing through challenges. It's about trusting yourself in the process. Too many people second-guess themselves, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions before they take action. But let me tell you, there is no perfect moment. There is only now. There is only this moment. And if you waste time waiting for everything to line up, you will spend your entire life waiting. Confidence is about stepping forward before you have all the answers. It's about betting on yourself, even when the odds seem stacked against you. And let me say this, there will be people who doubt you. People who tell you that you can't do it, that you won't make it, that you should play it safe. But those people don't determine your future. You do. If you listen to every critic, every doubter, every voice telling you to quit, you will never reach your full potential. So stop looking for permission to chase your dreams. Stop waiting for somebody else to believe in you before you believe in yourself. Because confidence isn't about what other people think. It's about what you know to be true. So the next time you're faced with a challenge, don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Face it head on, with your chest out, your head high, and your spirit unshaken. Because challenges are not here to defeat you, they are here to develop you. And when you embrace that, when you truly understand that every battle is making you better, you will stop fearing obstacles and start welcoming them. Because you will know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you were built for this. The people around you matter more than you think. Who you spend your time with will either lift you up or pull you down. They will either push you toward greatness or keep you stuck in the same place. You cannot expect to reach your full potential if you're constantly surrounded by negativity, by small-mindedness, by people who don't believe in growth. Energy is contagious. Attitudes are contagious. Mindsets are contagious. So the question is, what are you catching from the people around you? Are they inspiring you, challenging you, helping you become better? Or are they draining you, doubting you, holding you back? See, too many people stay in the wrong circles out of habit, out of loyalty, out of fear of being alone. But let me tell you something. Being alone is better than being surrounded by the wrong people, because the wrong people will kill your dreams before they even have a chance to grow. The wrong people will plant seeds of doubt in your mind, make you question your worth, convince you that playing small is the safe choice. And if you're not careful, you will start to believe them. You will start to shrink, you will start to limit yourself, not because you aren't capable, but because you've been surrounded by people who can't see your potential. You need to be around people who see you, people who recognize your greatness, even when you don't fully see it yourself. People who will push you when you feel like giving up, who will remind you of your purpose when you start to lose focus. Because life is hard, success is hard, and there will be moments when you doubt yourself. That's why you need a circle that speaks life into you, not one that fills your mind with fear and insecurity. You need people who want to see you win, not people who secretly hope you fail so they can feel better about their own lack of progress. And let's be honest, sometimes the wrong people aren't just strangers or acquaintances. Sometimes they're family, sometimes they're childhood friends, and that makes it even harder to walk away. But let me be clear. Protecting your peace is not selfish. Prioritizing your growth is not disloyal. You can love people from a distance, you can pray for them, wish them well, and still choose to step away if their energy is poisoning your potential. Because at the end of the day, your future is your responsibility. And if the people around you aren't pushing you toward it, they're pulling you away from it. And I know what some of you are thinking. Well, I don't have the right people around me right now. It's okay. Because you can go out and find them. Read books by people who inspire you. Listen to podcasts that challenge your thinking. Watch videos that fill your mind with wisdom and motivation. Because the truth is, you don't have to be in the same room as someone to be influenced by them. The right mentors, the right voices, the right messages, they're out there, waiting for you to tune in. But when you do find the right people, hold on to them. Invest in those relationships. Be the type of friend, the type of supporter, the type of encourager that you wish you had when you were struggling. Because a strong circle isn't just about taking, it's about giving. It's about building each other up, celebrating each other's wins, and reminding each other that there is room for everybody at the top. See, small minds compete, but great minds collaborate. And if you surround yourself with the right people, success won't just be a dream, it will be inevitable. So take a look around. Who's in your circle? Who's influencing your mindset, your energy, your vision? If they're not pushing you forward, if they're not making you better, then it might be time to make some changes. Because your future is too important, your purpose is too great, and you simply cannot afford to let the wrong people hold you back. There will be times in your life when you feel like you're standing alone, when no one sees your vision, when no one understands your dreams, when people question your choices, doubt your abilities, and look at you like you're crazy for wanting more. And in those moments, you will have a choice to believe them or to believe yourself. Because let me tell you something, the world isn't going to hand you a permission slip to be great. People aren't always going to clap for you. Sometimes they're going to ignore you. Sometimes they're going to laugh at you. And sometimes they're going to actively try to discourage you. That's why self-belief isn't optional. It's necessary. See, too many people give up on themselves because they're waiting for validation. They're waiting for someone else to say, yes, you're good enough. Yes, you can do this. But what happens when that approval never comes? What happens when the people closest to you don't see your potential? What happens when the world tells you no? If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have an unshakable faith in what you're capable of, you will fold, you will quit. And not because you weren't capable, but because you listened to the wrong voices. You have to understand, most people can't see past their own limitations. They project their fears, their doubts, their insecurities onto you. So when they tell you that you can't do something, what they really mean is they don't believe they could do it. But their fear is not your truth. Their doubt is not your reality. Just because they can't see it doesn't mean it's not possible. Some of the greatest minds in history, people who changed the world, were told they were crazy, were told their ideas would never work, were told they should quit, but they didn't. Because they believed in themselves even when no one else did. And let's talk about failure for a second. Because sometimes it's not just other people's doubt that gets in your way, it's your own. You try and you fail. You push forward and you stumble. And every time you fall short, that little voice in your head starts whispering, maybe they were right. Maybe I'm not good enough. But listen to me. Failure does not mean you're not good enough. Failure does not mean you should give up. Failure is proof that you're trying, proof that you're learning, proof that you're in the game, and the only way you truly lose is if you quit. So what do you do when no one believes in you? You keep going anyway. You put your head down, you do the work, you sharpen your skills, and you prove to yourself that you are exactly who you say you are. Because at the end of the day, your success is not about their approval. It's about your commitment. It's about how badly you want it. It's about how willing you are to push forward, even when the road is lonely, even when the journey is tough, even when doubt is knocking on your door. And let me be real with you. It's hard. It's hard to keep believing when the results don't come fast enough. It's hard to keep pushing when it feels like no one is watching, no one is supporting, no one is recognizing your effort. But trust me, everything you're doing now is adding up. Every late night, every early morning, every sacrifice, it's all leading somewhere. And one day, the same people who doubted you, the same people who told you it would never happen, will be the ones asking you how you did it. So don't wait for permission to believe in yourself. Don't wait for someone else to recognize your worth. Decide right now that you are enough, that you can do this, that your dreams are worth fighting for, no matter who does or doesn't see it yet. Because if you believe in yourself long enough, eventually the world will have no choice but to believe in you too. Too many people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting until they feel ready. And in that waiting, they waste years, sometimes even a lifetime, never stepping into their potential, never chasing their dreams, never taking that first step toward what they were meant to do. But let me tell you something, there is no perfect moment. There is no magical time when everything lines up just right. When all the stars align, when fear disappears and confidence takes over, the perfect moment is now, right here, right where you are. See, people fool themselves into thinking that waiting is the safe option, that waiting will make things easier, that waiting will remove the risk. But waiting does nothing but rob you of time. It keeps you stuck. It gives fear more room to grow, because the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to move. The longer you hesitate, the more doubt creeps in, whispering, what if I fail? What if I'm not ready? What if I embarrass myself? But let me ask you this. What if you succeed? What if you're more ready than you think? What if taking action today is the thing that changes everything? And listen, I get it. Starting is scary. Taking that leap is intimidating. But do you know what's even scarier? Regret. Waking up one day and realizing that you spent your entire life waiting for a moment that never came. Realizing that all the ideas, all the dreams, all the potential inside you never saw the light of day because you were too afraid to start. Because you convinced yourself you needed more time, more knowledge, more experience, when in reality, you just needed more courage. And here's the truth. Nobody has it all figured out when they start. Nobody. The most successful people you admire, they started before they were ready. They took action while they were still learning. They stepped out, not knowing all the answers, not having everything perfectly planned, but knowing one thing for sure: staying where they were was not an option, because progress doesn't happen by thinking about it. Success doesn't come from wishing for it. The only way to get where you want to go is to move. You have to stop overthinking. Stop waiting for the fear to disappear. Stop convincing yourself that you need more preparation. Because the truth is, action is what brings clarity. Action is what builds confidence. Action is what separates the people who talk about success from the people who achieve it. You will never feel fully ready, but you don't have to be. You just have to be willing. Willing to try. Willing to fail. Willing to get back up and try again. Because every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress. And let me say this: failure is not the enemy. The real enemy is inaction. The real enemy is never giving yourself a chance. You can learn from failure. You can grow from mistakes, but you can't grow from nothing. You can't get better at something you never start. So stop telling yourself that you need more time. Stop making excuses. Stop letting fear hold the pen to your story. This is your life, and every second you spend waiting is a second you won't get back. So the question is, how much longer are you going to wait? How many more days, weeks, years are you going to let slip by before you decide that now is the time? Because at the end of the day, you don't need more time. You don't need more preparation. You don't need more permission. You just need to start. Success is a beautiful thing. When you work hard, when you push through obstacles, when you finally start to see the fruits of your labor, it feels good. But here's what you need to understand. Success is not a destination. It's not a finish line. It's not a place where you get to sit back, relax, and think, I've made it. I'm done. No, success is a continuous journey. And if you're not careful, it can disappear just as quickly as it came. That's why you have to stay humble. That's why you have to stay hungry. Too many people make the mistake of thinking that once they reach a certain level, they can take their foot off the gas. They get comfortable. They stop learning. They stop growing. And before they know it, they've lost that edge, that fire, that drive that got them there in the first place. Let me tell you something. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. The moment you start thinking you've arrived, the moment you start believing that you've done enough, that's the moment you start falling behind. Because while you're relaxing, someone else is out there grinding. While you're satisfied with where you are, someone else is pushing to take your spot. And listen, being humble doesn't mean you downplay your success. It doesn't mean you act like you're not talented or hardworking. No, humility means recognizing that no matter how good you are, there is always room for improvement. It means staying open to learning, staying open to growth, staying open to the fact that you don't know everything. Because the moment you think you have all the answers, the moment you stop being a student of life, is the moment you start losing. But humility alone isn't enough. You have to stay hungry. You have to want more. Not out of greed, not out of selfish ambition, but because you understand that your potential is limitless. There is no cap on how great you can be. There is no ceiling to how much you can grow. The question is, are you willing to keep pushing? Are you willing to keep evolving? Because let me tell you something, the most successful people in the world never stop. They never settle. They are always looking for ways to improve, always looking for ways to sharpen their skills, always looking for ways to take their game to the next level. And hunger isn't just about chasing bigger things. It's about chasing better things. It's about being better than you were yesterday. It's about setting new goals, new challenges, new mountains to climb. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. And too many people stop growing because they get comfortable. But comfort breeds complacency, and complacency kills dreams. That's why you have to keep that hunger alive. You have to wake up every day with a mindset that says, I am grateful for what I have, but I'm not done yet. But let me be clear, staying hungry doesn't mean you can't appreciate your success. It doesn't mean you can't celebrate your wins. It just means you don't stop at them. It means you don't let success make you soft. You don't let it make you lazy. You don't let it fool you into thinking the work is over. Because the truth is, the higher you climb, the harder you have to work to stay there. The expectations get bigger, the challenges get tougher, and if you're not ready for that, success can slip right through your fingers. So, what's the key? Stay humble. Always be willing to learn, to grow, to listen. Stay hungry. Never settle. Never stop pushing. Never let success make you complacent, because the moment you stop working, the moment you stop striving, the moment you think you've made it, that's the moment you start losing it all. At the end of the day, it all comes down to you, your belief in yourself, your willingness to put in the work, your decision to stop waiting, to stop doubting, to stop letting the world define what you are capable of. Because let me tell you something, you are more powerful than you realize. You have gifts, you have talent, you have potential that is greater than you can even imagine. But none of it matters if you don't see it. None of it matters if you don't have the courage to own it. And yes, the road is hard. Yes, there will be obstacles. Yes, there will be moments when you feel like giving up. But if you stay the course, if you keep pushing, if you keep believing in yourself, even when no one else does, you will win. You will rise. You will become everything you were meant to be. But that only happens if you decide right now that you are worthy, that you are enough, that your dreams, your goals, your purpose, they matter. Stop waiting for the world to recognize your value. Stop waiting for approval. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. You are ready now. You are capable now. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You need action. You need discipline. You need faith, because faith without action is nothing. Talent without effort is wasted, and potential without belief dies before it ever gets a chance to grow. So this is your time, right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not someday, now. Decide who you want to be. Decide what you want out of this life, and then go get it. Because the truth is, nobody's going to hand it to you. Nobody's going to do the work for you. But if you commit to the process, if you stay humble, if you stay hungry, there is nothing you can't achieve. The world will try to tell you who you are. People will try to place limits on what you can do. But you don't have to accept that. You don't have to shrink yourself to fit someone else's expectations. You define your worth. You define your destiny. You decide how far you go. So step into your greatness. Walk with confidence. Speak with conviction. Live with purpose, because the world needs what you have to offer. The world needs you, fully, completely, and unapologetically you.